She ran straight into the swamp, barefoot, bleeding, just to save her dog from a monster python. But before she could breathe, lions appeared. Everyone thought it was the end. What those lions did next, no one could believe it. This isn't just a rescue, it's a miracle you'll never forget. In the heart of this wild terrain stood a modest safari research camp, surrounded by the raw beauty and danger of untamed Africa. Among the team was a young girl named Lily, barely 10 years old, but already brave beyond her years. She wasn't just another child tagging along. Her parents were wildlife researchers, and she'd grown up amidst lions, elephants, and towering giraffes. But Lily's world didn't revolve around animals alone. It revolved around Max, a loyal German shepherd with a soldier's instinct and a heart full of love. It started like any other morning patrol. Lily, dressed in her khaki ranger shirt and mud-caked boots, walked beside Max as they followed the trail along the edge of the marshlands. Her parents were busy logging data from motion sensor cameras, and she had strict instructions to stay within sight. But Max suddenly froze, ears pricked, nose twitching. In a flash, he darted off into the tall grass, barking sharply. "Max, wait!" Lily shouted, but the dog was already gone, swallowed by the green. Her heart pounded. She knew Max wouldn't run unless he sensed something important, maybe a wounded animal, or worse, a predator. Fear gripped her small chest, but she didn't hesitate. She ran after him, dodging thorny shrubs and uneven ground, mud splashing onto her legs with every frantic step. "Max!" she cried out again, but only silence answered. Then she heard it, low growls and a strange thrashing sound, like something heavy was wrestling in water. Her stomach dropped. She pushed through a thick curtain of vines and emerged at the edge of the swamp. That's when she saw it. Max, half submerged in mud, completely wrapped in thick coiling muscle. A python, and it was crushing him. Max's eyes were wide with panic, his powerful legs kicking against the swampy water as the massive python tightened its grip around his torso. The snake's scales shimmered with slick mud, coiled thick as a tire around the German shepherd's chest and neck. Its mouth opened slightly, revealing rows of hooked teeth as it worked to suffocate its prey. Max let out a choked yelp, the kind Lily had never heard before. It wasn't a bark, it was a plea for help. For a moment, Lily froze in terror. Her legs wouldn't move, her breath caught in her throat. The snake's body pulsed, squeezing harder with every second, and Max's movements grew slower, weaker. His paws scraped the mud helplessly, eyes flickering with fading strength. Lily's throat burned as she screamed for help, but the dense marsh muffled her voice. There was no one near enough to hear. The snake hissed, its focus unshakable. It didn't care that Lily was watching. It was focused on finishing what it had started. Mud swirled violently around Max's body as the python continued its cruel, deliberate squeeze. Lily could see Max's chest barely rising now. Time was running out. If she didn't do something, anything right now, she was going to lose him. Tears streamed down her face, mixing with the grime on her cheeks. Her hands shook, but her heart knew what she had to do. Without thinking, without fear, she stepped forward into the mud. If Max was going to survive, she would have to fight a monster herself. Lily plunged into the mud, the cold sludge swallowing her boots as she stumbled toward Max. The python didn't even flinch. It was too focused, its coils tightening with mechanical precision. Max let out another faint whimper, and that sound shattered every trace of fear inside her. Lily grabbed the sharpest stick she could find, a broken tree limb with a jagged edge, and raised it with both hands. Screaming with everything she had, she drove the stick into the snake's side. Once, twice. The python recoiled slightly, its head snapping in her direction, mouth wide and furious. Lily didn't stop. She jabbed again, shouting, crying, sobbing all at once. Mud splattered her face. Her arms burned, but she kept fighting. "Let him go!" she screamed. "Let him go!" The python hissed violently, writhing now, its body shifting in protest. It tried to strike her, but the swamp slowed its movements. She ducked just in time, the fangs grazing the air beside her ear. Her heart thundered, but she didn't back away. She threw herself at the coils and clawed at them with her bare hands, trying to loosen their grip. Finally, the snake loosened just enough. Max gasped and kicked. With one desperate heave, Lily pulled at his soaked fur, dragging him away from the serpent's reach. Max collapsed beside her, coughing weakly. But before she could catch her breath, she heard something else. A low rumble, heavy footsteps. She turned, and her blood turned to ice. Lions. A whole pride watching in silence. Lily's breath caught in her throat as she turned toward the sound. Emerging through the tall grass were 6 lions, a full pride, led by a towering male with a golden mane and piercing amber eyes. His massive paws pressed silently into the damp ground, his gaze locked onto her and Max. The others fanned out slowly behind him, their movements fluid, deliberate. Lily's heartbeat thundered in her ears. She had no strength left, no weapons, no chance of escape. Max, still wheezing and too weak to move, gave a low growl. But it wasn't the growl of defiance. It was a warning. He too saw the danger. The lions paused just a few feet away. Their eyes flicked between the coiled snake, now slithering back toward the water, and the muddy, bloodied pair at its feet. The python seemed to hesitate as well, sensing the sudden shift in power. Then, in a shocking moment of silence, the lead lion took a single step forward, not toward Lily or Max, but toward the snake. Lily clutched Max's fur, frozen. What was happening? The wild had no sympathy, no saviors. Yet the lions stood still, unmoving, as if they were guarding her, watching, judging. The lead lion stepped forward again, slowly, his powerful shoulders rippling with each motion. The python froze mid-slither, raising its head in challenge. But it was no match for the king of this land. With a guttural snarl, the lion lunged, not at Lily, not at Max, but directly at the serpent. In a flash of claws and muscle, the lion swiped at the python, forcing it to recoil in panic. The snake let out a hiss and slid rapidly into the swamp, disappearing beneath the water's surface. Lily stared, wide-eyed, as the lion turned back toward her. For a moment, she thought it might change its mind and attack. But instead, the great beast lowered its head, almost respectfully, and sat beside them. The others in the pride followed, encircling her and Max, forming a silent ring of protection. Not a single lion growled, not a single paw moved with aggression. Max lifted his head weakly, looking up at the lion closest to them. His tail gave a faint wag. Lily could hardly believe what she was seeing. These weren't just animals, they remembered. Years ago, her father had rescued a starving lion cub from a trap near this very swamp. That cub had grown into this leader, the same lion now protecting her. The same lion Max had once nudged back to life as a cub when everyone thought it was gone. The wild hadn't forgotten their kindness, and now it was returning the favor in the most extraordinary way. Minutes later, voices echoed through the bush. Rangers, alerted by Lily's earlier screams, came sprinting through the tall grass, rifles in hand, panic on their faces. But what they saw stopped them cold. A circle of lions, calmly sitting around a muddy, exhausted girl and her wounded German shepherd. One of the rangers raised his weapon, but Lily waved weakly. "No, they're not here to hurt us," she whispered. The lead lion stood, gave Max a final glance, and slowly turned. One by one, the pride followed, melting back into the wilderness. No one spoke for a moment. Then Lily's father dropped to his knees, wrapping her and Max in his arms, shaking with relief. Tears mixed with mud on Lily's cheeks. She looked toward where the lions had vanished, heart pounding with something deeper than fear. Gratitude. Wonder. The wild had witnessed her courage and answered with something even more powerful: memory and mercy. If this incredible story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. More real, unbelievable stories are coming. Stay tuned.